Let's get it. I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, do you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Poles everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.
All right, shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barak and Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Allah Thumb Shem Yahshua to all the sisters. All right, welcome to Real Time Revelations. This is a show I do every Monday, every Thursday. All right, the water's Kyle out the water. Show I do every Monday and Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Breaking down recent events, relevant topics. I give you the biblical perspective. All right, last week was a heavy one I did on single parenthood. What they like to push single parenthood in the media, single mom, this, that, and the third, leave him, you don't need you, man, this, that, and the third. Single parenthood, the class I did last week, or the show I did not last week, Monday, single parenthood is failing our children. And that leads me very nicely into this Thursday class, or the Thursday show, which I'm going to do on independence. All right, the so-called, women liberation movement or independent women. Everything they push in the media telling Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women to leave their man is absolutely the downfall of Black women. It's the downfall of really, any race, but, I'm going to focus on Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. That's who they really pushing it on. That's who's really falling for the whole independence thing. All these other races, they scream independence, but they still with their man. They still really love and respect their man. They just want to, they just want to be trendy. But our people, we want to be trendy, but we taking it serious. Like we actually, our sisters are actually leaving their men. They're actually breaking their homes in order to be, this quote unquote independent woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get, I think the first thing I'm going to get, because I got a few videos, right? I got a few videos I want to play on this topic. First thing I'm going to get is a scripture real fast. All right, I'm going to share the scripture for y'all. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. It says, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety." So the same way in that Garden of Eden where the serpent beguiled and tricked Eve and, got her to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, which, if you go into it, it's not a literal fruit. It didn't, trick her to eat an apple. It's they learned of the culture of other nations that are around about them, right? Which they were not supposed to do. They were supposed to wear the culture that the Most High gave to them. They were supposed to keep the laws that the Most High gave to them and not learn any other way, all right? But through his subtlety, he beguiled Eve, right? So in the scripture says, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ." There is a simplicity that is in Christ. There's simplicity that's in the Bible. The Bible lets you know the natural order of things. The Bible lets you know the order of, in terms of rank, it's God, Christ, man, then woman. You know what I'm saying? The Bible lets you know how to conduct your relationships, how to love one another, what is love. The Bible gives you every answer you're looking for in this earth. It gives you every single answer you need in order to live a blessed life. But that serpent, good night, that serpent pushes every vile thing and everything that is against God. He pushes that to your forefront on your TVs, on your phone screens, every social media app. He's pushing for you to be, independent. You don't need no man. He's pushing for you to be promiscuous and shaking your backside like Sexy Red and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. He pushes those people to your forefront. So that's all you see. You don't see, you don't see women like our sisters in the ISUPK. You don't see women that dress modestly. You don't see women that teach good things, that know how to take care of the household, know how to cook, how to submit to their man, know how to love their man according to the Bible, not just lovey-dovey, this, that, and the third, like actually loving that their husband. All right. In the Bible, love ain't just by emotion. Love is a duty. For example, in loving the Lord, everybody, Christians love to say that they love Jesus, they love God, they love this, love that. But the Bible says in terms of loving the Most High, it says, if you love me, keep my commandments. All right. Love is about duty. It's not just about that butterfly feeling you get in your stomach. Love is absolutely about duty. It's about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. The same way your relationship. Love is about respecting one another. It's about, it's about doing things for one another. It's work. It's not, there is no perfect relationship where there's no arguments, there's no, everything's just fairy tale fantasy land. There will always be arguments and, discretions, disputes in a relationship. But love is putting your pride aside and fixing any issues you have and staying together. That's what love is. You can never say, you love somebody if at the first inconvenience you just up and leave. You just up and abandon this person who you were supposed to, you said you loved so much. You just up and abandon. Right? That's not love. Love is duty. Love is loyalty. That's what love is. All right. My first video I'm gonna play, I'm gonna go old school a little bit. I don't know how many of y'all have heard of a sister by the name of Shahrazad Ali. Now she one of our sisters, right? I believe she a Judite, but I know she into Islam, but a lot of what she was saying back in the day, she was really talking to black people. Her focus was black people. She wasn't really about them Arabs. She just, she was one of those people that felt like Islam was the black man's religion. Okay, I see Alicia's heard of Shahrazad Ali. I'm gonna go ahead and play and yeah, she had a book. I think she had a few books. One of the main ones that got the most media coverage, or she got, I would say, the most well-known of, is The Black Man's Guide to Understanding a Black Woman. All right, which is I haven't read it myself, but I'm sure it's a great book. From the commentary she's done in it, and from what I understand about her as a sister, she has some wisdom there for sure. You know what I'm saying? If a sister like that joined the school, she would be, I could see her being, an excellent sister in the school. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and play a Slovakia. I'm gonna go ahead and play a video clipped up from an interview the sister did back in the 1990s. And it's so crazy, like all the way back in the 1990s, shoot, all the way, however far back this goes, this message is still so relevant. It's still so relevant because they've still managed to trick us. They've still got us in the same mindset they were in the 1980s, because, whatever influence this sister tried to really put, this serpent's influence is, unfortunately, it's just much stronger. And our people don't want to listen to anything that corrects them. Brothers and sisters. Brothers don't want to listen to anything that says, okay, you cannot be a drug dealer. You can't get this quote unquote easy money, which is really risking your life, not only risking your life in, your physical life, risking your life in being thrown in prison. What's the word? Risking, abandoning children, being stuck in a jail cell, destroying the lives of other people. Our people don't want to hear anything that forces them to correct themselves. It's very unfortunate, but the ISUPK since 1969, we're gonna keep telling you. We're gonna keep telling you. We're gonna keep bringing out the truth. The Bible says, "Cry aloud and spare not." So we're gonna keep telling you this truth. Eventually, you're gonna hear it. All right. Hey, shout out to Ra'ash Karab. What I'm saying, my brother all the way from Gary, Indiana. Yahweh Shimi Al-Shabrakatah. Good to see you. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this clip real quick. Aisha Shahrazad Ali, what she was bringing out back in the 1980s was so heavy for that time, and it's so relevant to this day. All right, so we're gonna play that. I think y'all can see that. All right, most Christ. I'm gonna skip to the beginning.
We have been displaced. A lot of us don't really understand what slavery actually did to us and how much psychological trauma it did to us regarding what our proper roles are with each other, what our responsibilities are as man and woman in our various communities and relationships. We have never been debriefed from slavery. Not really. We have just, we know we had that history, but we don't know how it affected us. We don't know how much of our actual culture we lost, how much of our ideas were taken from us. We know that our religion was taken from us. We know that our names were taken from us, but we don't know how many other standards of day-to-day life have been removed. And while we have adopted the American way of doing things, they have not worked for us because we have a very...
And what she's saying is heavy. Like when we were enslaved for over 400 years, and when we were so-called freed, we were never given, okay, I know we had you in the slavery, but okay, we've realized now it was wrong. That's apparently, that's their recollection of history. They said, this is wrong. We should free the slaves, but you never gave us back what was taken from us. You never gave us back our culture. You never gave us back the knowledge of what our brothers were like, what our sisters were like, how we interacted with each other. You never gave us the knowledge of what our true God is, who our true God is, which is the nigger God, the black God in the Bible. That's who our God is. It ain't Caesar Borgia, ain't that, pale face oppressor they put up in every Christian church. Christ is a black man, a dark-skinned black man from the tribe of Judah. The Most High is black. It says his hair is the pure wool. They never gave us that back. They never gave us anything. All we've known from slavery is being enslaved, being on the bottom of society, and then anything we've picked up from the what's the word? From American culture, or from British culture, or from Puerto Rican culture, anything we've learned from the Spanish, the French, all these nations that enslaved us, all we know today since being enslaved is just what we've learned in that society, what we've picked up. All right. So even the way we interact with each other, all this, independent women, even how our brothers are in gangs, and that comes from, looking at the mobsters, like Italian mobsters and the mafia. We wanted to replicate them. That's where gangs come from. You know what I'm saying? Even thugs, I believe the East Indians and the Arabs, like they was called thugs. That's where the term comes from. Like we use all this terminology, and we represent a culture that isn't ours, because ours was never given back to us. It was never given back to us until 1969, when these brothers looked in these records, found out who we were, found out our true identity, found out what our culture was before being enslaved, what our language was before being enslaved, what our who our God is before we were enslaved and given the oppressor, before we were enslaved and given Allah, before before we were enslaved in all these captivities, and now we trying to rebel and find something, and we were taken from Africa, so we go back to Africa, and now we in Pan-Africanism, we in Rastafarianism, we in all these different things that are not our God and not our traditions. All right, I'm gonna play on.
very special situation. We are not the same as everyone else.
And we are not the same as everyone else. We are not like any other nation. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are the greatest people on the face of the earth. We are not like any other nation. We ain't like that oppressor, though we trying to act like him because that's all we know. We ain't like them damn Arabs. I can tell you that much for free. We ain't like the Chinese. We don't eat what they eat. You know what I'm saying? We are a special people. We are a holy people according to the Bible. So we should not be trying to emulate or replicate anything that we see from any other nation. We are a special case. We were the people that the Most High specifically chose to give his laws, statutes, and commandments to give his wisdom to give his blessings to. That's who we are. All right, I'm going to play on.
And a lot of the people who want us to pretend that slavery didn't exist or to forget about it, they've never been a slave. So they don't know what we're going through. They don't know what this has done to us. It has made us as black women insecure.
Why not? Well, okay, well, if that's true.
And as she said, it's made black women insecure. Like we never had, black women, when we were enslaved, they stripped the power away from the black man. They made a point to take away any authority and any power that the black man had. And so now our black women were left feeling unprotected. Also, Slacky, shalom also to, I see Mocha Beauty, shalom sis, Yahweh Shema, Allah Ta'ala, Bashim Yahweh Shai. Our power and our authority as black men was stripped away, and then our sisters were left feeling unprotected and vulnerable. That is by design. And then from that, you got all sorts of insecurities, anxiety, you fearing for your life because they have never let up on black people. They have never, it's always been a very harsh, environment for blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Both of our brothers and sisters and children and the elders, they've never let up. This oppressor don't regard the old or the young, male nor female. We all getting oppressed. But they take away our power, our strength. Every other nation's woman, they have their man. They know their man can defend them. But they put in our sisters that, how they treated us in slavery, that, that man can't do nothing for you. That man can't protect you because of how they specifically attacked the black man. All right, we're going to play on. And this is going to talk about, why don't we, I'm going to let her say it.
Didn't exist or to forget about it. They've never been a slave, so they don't know what we're going through. They don't know what this has done to us. It has made us as black women insecure.
Why not? If that's true, why not take up for us? Why not write something that says
we've had everybody to take up for us, and we've always had books about black women, how great and how strong we are, and we are that. I'm just saying that we have used our strength in the wrong direction. We have used it against our men instead of standing up for them. And if we start to support our men and to speak a good word for him publicly, then so many people won't be able to come against him and tear him down, and he won't have to feel so frustrated, and he won't be outside away from us looking for peace of mind.
And what she said was heavy. Like she even says, she agrees that the black woman is, y'all have so much strength and so much, y'all are the best women on the face of the earth, but y'all have used all the strength that y'all have, instead of banding together with the black man. The oppressor now has it where we're fighting each other. The brothers are using whatever strength they have against sisters. The sisters are using whatever strength they have against brothers. And we furthering a divide. We're furthering a divide that's designed by our oppressor. I'm going to skip it back a little bit.
Speak a good word for him publicly, then so many people won't be able to come against him and tear him down, and he won't have to feel so frustrated, and he won't be outside away from us looking for peace of mind with women of other nationalities, because we actually want our own black man. We need him back in our homes, and we want to have one. We're just living in a culture where they're trying to convince us that not only do we not need a man, but there's some other options to having one, and those options mainly are celibacy or lesbianism.
And that is heavy. Like what she said, we living in a society where there's just so many alternatives. You're being told you don't need a man. And now the alternative is what she's put, either celibacy, where you got all these single women who are just single and lonely. They don't have a man to defend them, to protect them, to guide them, to lead them, because they think this man can't tell them nothing because he ain't earning, he ain't earning six figures. He don't have the good job or good education that she has, because the oppressor has put her in that position to put her above us, socially, economically. He's given her that power. Instead of her saying, okay, I have this ability to get a certain level of education, to get, and not to say brothers can't get education, because brothers certainly can. You can definitely get education. You can definitely get, the economy right. But the oppressor by design has allowed our women to get, further than us. He's allowed them, he's pushed them up and propped them up so that they're above us and they look down upon us. Instead of saying, okay, I'm able to earn this bread, I'm able to get this job, let me help my brother, let me help, this man, my husband, my father, let me help and build up the black man. Let's join forces and attack our real enemy, which is our oppressor. Instead, we're using that to attack each other. Our sisters is getting too caught up in how much money they earn, what level of education they have, and they turning that against the black man. All right. Hey, shalom to Nakath, Yahweh Shemal Athar Shemiel Shai. Shalom to I seen Yanaqua jumping as well. Shalom, sis. Alicia says, to be in competition with black men for sure. Yeah, they turned us, they gave y'all, they treated y'all in a way where y'all could get further to turn you, but then they push in the media so hard that you don't need, black man ain't no good. He ain't no good. All he's gonna do is quote unquote cheat, which really cheating is the oppressor's culture. Cheating is absolutely the oppressor's culture, where a man, according to the Bible, can have more than one wife. That is not cheating according to the Bible. There is no, I don't know if you read the Bible, but the word cheating isn't in there. There's fornication and there's adultery. Adultery is laying down with a woman that belongs to another man already. That's what adultery is. A man having more than one wife is not adultery. And I think I'm gonna get into that topic on Monday. That topic I'm gonna do is, they chastising the black man for his natural desire to have more than one wife and look after more than one woman. They chastising that and calling that adultery. But really, what's in that Christian church, that monogamy is adultery. I'm gonna get into that topic on Monday. Monogamy is absolutely adultery according to the Bible. I'm gonna break it all the way down for you on Monday. I make sure y'all tune in. All right, shalom to Yana Kwath, Yahweh Shema, Allah Taba Shemi Al Shai. I think we got everybody. She says, and Khan, yeah, Alicia, she says, lol, she even speaks about multiple wives in this interview. Khan, yeah. I got that clip for Monday. I got that already clipped up. It's stored. All right, I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna go into that monogamy in that Christian church, because that is adultery. Even how, they talk so much about, the black man and he's unfaithful, he's this, he's that. But that Christian pastor is the one that's sleeping with all these men's wives. He's the one committing the most adultery. Meanwhile, what you're doing actually really isn't adultery. It's only adultery if you leave the sister, if you just, or it's fornication if you just go around sleeping with random women and you ain't keeping them. That's fornication. I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna leave that topic for Monday. All right, let's get back into this one.
Have one. We're just living in a culture where they're trying to convince us that not only do we not need a man, but there's some other options to having one. And those options mainly are celibacy or lesbianism.
You say that the black woman would like to be a clone of the white woman.
Many of us, yes. That's unfortunate.
How do you see that?
Well, that's something that was almost accidental, I'd have to say. See, the white woman has been the only mentor that we have had of a female. We've seen her every day of our life on television, every magazine, every newspaper, every commercial. It's just been her face, her body, her image, whatever it has been in front of us.
And that's heavy. Like, our sisters, we've been enslaved and taken over here, taken over to the Americas, taken over to Britain or the Caribbean where we were enslaved, the Benjamite tribe, right? Where we was enslaved. All we've known from slavery is what they push in the media. All them, shampoo commercials is all white women. All the TV shows, it's all oppressors. You know what I'm saying? We've never seen and even now, nowadays you have shows with more, black people in there, but it's just black people that are following British culture, or black people that are following American culture. There is no model for us in the, not in the mainstream media of how blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are supposed to conduct themselves. You only find that in the ISUPK. So if you want to know what it is, what your history, what your culture was prior to being enslaved, if you want to get deprogrammed from all this media, this oppressor is jamming into your mind, you come into the ISUPK. All right. If you're in the UK, you come to 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW, and get deprogrammed. You know what I'm saying? Even after this show, my Captain Karathia will be doing the scripture breakdown class where you can get everything you need broken down. You can get, how did we do this according to the Bible? Why do we do this? What's the background behind this? You can get any scriptures you need broken down. You can get this whole thing. You can get your life corrected. You can get your life absolutely corrected and live according to the Bible if you follow the ISUPK under commanding GEN.YAHANNA. All right. You look at these comments. Nakas says, Khan said they praise women who have multiple men, but when a man has multiple wives, it's wrong. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's crazy. Yeah, they promoting our sisters being 304s. You got, they push up Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and Glorilla, who've had all these male partners, sleeping around, this, that, and the third. They praise that. You know, you got women now saying, you know, back in the day, being called a 304 used to be an insult, but now you got these sisters openly saying, you know, I'm a 304, I'm this, you know, I'm a bad B, all this nonsense. They praise that, but God forbid a brother have more than one wife. God forbid a brother not just sleeping around with multiple sisters, because that ain't right either, but wants to actually keep and guide and correct and lead more than one sister. Good night. That brother, apparently that's not allowed. But sisters, y'all can just go ahead. All they want, even sisters and brothers, they just push us to have, you know, intercourse frivolously without caring in the world. But there's a big commitment when you lie down, when a sister lies down with the brother, she's giving herself to him. So you've now given yourself to, you know, tens, hundreds of men at this point. You know, at this point, that's the way it's going. Like we got body counts in the hundreds these days. It's crazy. And now, you know, there's more of a commitment to it. There's more of a connection to it. Now you don't, you know, you thinking, why am I so messed up in the head? Why I got all these different behavioral disorders and mental health issues? It's because you've given your body, you've given yourself to tens, hundreds of men. Your body wasn't designed for that. Sisters was designed to be with one man and submit to that one man, and be with that one man for the rest of her life. Unless if that brother was unalive, then she can get a new husband, you know, because the sister needs some. In that times, you know, if the sister didn't have a husband, it was rough. It's rough now, but you think back in them tight days, it was rough. It was definitely rough. So the sister needed a husband so she could remarry. All right, let me get these comments again. So like you said, but women have to understand that sharing a man is helping him. And Khan, you know what I'm saying, when that brother has more than one rib, a rib is a helpmeet. It's a helpmeet. So that brother, you know, has a rib. She's helping him. She's makes his life easier. She allows him to build more. You know what I'm saying? You can focus more on what you're doing when you have a rib at home. Now, you get more than one rib if you can handle it. Because sisters, you know, y'all ain't, you know, it ain't all sunshine and roses. It ain't exactly easy. It's not a walk in the park to deal with more than one woman. But if a brother decides to do it, now he has more help. He has more help me. You know what I'm saying? He's able to do more things. Maybe sister's bringing in money, sisters, you know, doing this, you know, helping to support him. We can build this whole nation. We can build this whole nation. You know, the sisters is always saying there's a shortage of good men. You know, there's a shortage of good men. There's not enough good men. Listen, polygyny fixes all that. A brother having more than one rib, that fixes all that. We can just take 10 of y'all each. And now, you know, that fixes the issue. They ain't no issue with not enough good men. Of course, you know what I'm saying, if a brother, you know, not every brother even gonna be able to handle, you know, one. Never mind more than one, but that definitely fixes the whole issue between there not being enough good men, because there is an attack on black men, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. All right, let me get more of these comments. Lucky, I don't want to spend too much time. Emotionally, a woman can't handle multiple men. Men can. That's facts. That's facts. It ain't really built for that. You know what I'm saying? The emotional distress you go through when you've had multiple partners, and even when when the sister has a partner and then she breaks it for whatever reason, like it's heartbreak that first time. You're crying for days on end. You're depressed. But then, you know, over time you get over it. So you find a new man, and then that ends up, you know, not working for whatever reason. You split with him, you cry, but you cry a little less. It gets a little bit easier to break that bond until you get to the point where you just ending relationships over any little thing. Like it's just nothing. You just cycle and go through, man. It's just, you know, it's almost a defense mechanism where, because you don't ever want to be hurt like that first time you was hurt, you just break it off, you distance, you just what's the word, you completely detach from the situation. You just detach from any person, and now you can't really bond with a person. You can't ever really bond sincerely with a person, because now you just, you know, now you're just independent. Now, you know, you don't need no man for nothing, because when you had a man that you trusted in, unfortunately, some sisters, you know, pick a brother that isn't, you know, that isn't honest, or that isn't able to that it might be abusive or anything like that. And then, you fall into that cycle of now you don't need a man, because when you had a man, he did this or he did that and did some reason it didn't work. And now all of a sudden you just don't need any man. All right. Let me see. Because says Salaki, but body count be at 15 before they're 16 years old is insane. And these days, I wouldn't be surprised. These days, I would be surprised, but I ain't flabbergasted. I ain't, that's real life. That's real life these days because of everything they pushing. You seen that video last Monday, not last Monday, this Monday, of them young girls dancing and singing and gyrating to Sexy Red. And then when they get older, as soon as they hit puberty, they already being sexualized through the media, sexualized through, everybody they come in contact with, in their schools, through the media. The brothers in there now, they looking at Sexy Red, and then they look at a young sister, and there's just like, okay, you should be acting like this. Then the sisters is getting sexualized by the brothers. Even brothers is getting sexualized young, where, you got older people predatorizing the youngers, all right, the younger men and the younger sisters. And that's how you end up with all these things, sisters having 15 before they even turn 16. All right, I'm gonna play out more in this video. Let's get more of this.
And so today we have the results of that. We have black women who are trying to dye their hair blonde, who are wearing blue and green contacts in their eyes, who wear tons and tons of layers of makeup, who have changed their voice, who have hair weaves so they can have flowing long hair blowing in the wind, like Brooke Shields or somebody, And so that's been an accident. And as a result of us doing that.
And so she's talking about the ways that our sisters have emulated the oppressor. It's now, in order for you to be professional, you gotta have straight hair. You gotta have, all these different things. Some go into having, blue contact lenses that makes them feel pretty or whatever. Trying to look like the oppressor as much as you can. Meanwhile, the oppressor is trying to be you because they know the truth that you, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indian women, are the most beautiful women on the face of the earth. They are trying to be you. Every nation is trying to be you. These Arabs, they come over, they start acting like you. They start dressing more like you. But meanwhile, you trying to be everybody but yourself because they taught us that self-hatred from slavery days. They taught us self-hatred, so we trying to be everything else. But they know the truth that Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are the salt of the earth. And they trying to be us. They trying to take our flavor. Meanwhile, we trying to get rid of ours and be like them, be flavorless. We trying to turn, a whole soul food meal into some saltine crackers. Like, we trying to get rid of our flavor because of that self-hate. All right, I'm going to play on.
We have also adopted the women's liberation movement goals of wanting to be liberated from the man.
And she says, we've also, as a nation, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women, we've also adopted the women's liberation movement goals. That women's liberation movement has nothing to do with our sisters. It has, while they were doing the liberation movement, y'all was still, I don't know exactly the timeline of when they was doing it, but y'all was probably still 3/5 of a human. That movement is not for us. That movement is for whatever issue that oppressor woman has with her man. But, between Blacks, Hispanic, Native Indian man and our, women and our men, we ain't never had no power really to want to, be independent from. Like, what are you independent from if you're independent from a Black man? You're not, you just independent from the only man, the only nation of man that would actually love you. That isn't just fetishizing your hair, isn't just fetishizing your body, because women, Black women, we naturally, y'all is naturally, y'all look better than any other women. I'm gonna leave it at that. So these other nations, they just fetishizing you, but they don't know about your struggle. They don't care about your struggle. They don't care about you really. They prefer their own nation. So when it comes to you, you just, You might be a plaything for a time. You know, they might really, you know, they might really love you the way an oppressor really loves their pet dog. You know, they really love that. You know, they really love Fido, and they so upset when Fido gets sick, but it's still a pet. That's what it looks like when you go to these other nations. I'm gonna do another show on that too. I'm gonna do a show on these interracial marriages, interracial couples, interracial dating. I'm gonna do a show on that too. I'm gonna get to what was I had first? I'm gonna get to whatever it was I said earlier. I'm gonna get to that one first, and I'm gonna do interracial dating. All right, but let's play more on this video.
Have some kind of pseudo equality, when while that may be true of the white woman and her plight with the white man, that's not really the black woman's business, because we haven't been under the control of the black man for over 500 years. So what do we have to be liberated from him from?
How do you feel about
That was heavy. She said, you know, the black woman, we ain't been under the black man for over 500 years. Y'all ain't ever really been under no oppression by us. Now, there was, you know, from slavery, we learned, you know, from being stressed and having all this generational trauma, we were doing wicked things to each other. You know, you had all this, you know, domestic violence, physical, verbal. You have these issues that we have towards one another, but y'all ain't never been under no oppression by us. We were all being oppressed, and we fought each other internally. But that oppression wasn't coming from us. All right, I'm gonna play on. In fact, I'm gonna spin it back.
That's not really the black woman's business, because we haven't been under the control of the black man for over 500 years. So what do we have to be liberated from him from?
How do you feel about the fact that many people accuse you of wanting to see the black woman at a point of submission? Is that where you want to see a black woman in the 19?
At the point of submission. She said that like it was like good night, like it was the worst thing on the planet. There were rumors of you saying that you want the black woman to be in a point of submission. She said that like good night. Run that back.
The fact that many people accuse you of wanting to
accuse you, like it's an accusation to say that a black woman should submit to their man, like every other woman, nation of women submits to their man. It's an accusation to say there are rumors, you know. It's crazy.
See the black woman at a point of submission. Is that where you want to see a black woman in the 1990s?
Well, it depends on how you define submission. Those words have a tendency to have a negative connotation for us because of how they were used against us during slavery and what we connect them to. But actually,
and that's heavy. That's why our sisters have such a visceral reaction to when we say women should submit. When they hear that, they thinking what the oppressor did to them. They thinking slavery. They thinking, you know, being assaulted. They thinking all these things being, you know, treated as nothing. That's not what submitting is. That's not what submission looks like. Not to a man that loves you, a man that cares about you. That's being forced, you know, that's being forced to be a slave. We don't want, you know, we ain't treating our sisters like slaves, but we do require submission. And she gonna tell you what submission looks like. I'm gonna get it in the Bible too. All right, go ahead. Let me play.
The kind of submission that I'm referring to just means cooperation and agreement. I don't think that anybody could say that I represent a woman who is subjugated in any kind of way. I don't think that anybody could say that my personality sounds like some man has me somewhere crawling around on the ground or walking 10 paces behind him. So I'm not representing that. I'm representing strength. I'm saying that we have.
And that's funny because, you know, they go out, you know, they try and attack, and it's crazy. They try and attack like our sisters are saying we shouldn't submit, you know, our sisters shouldn't be under the foot of, you know, these cult leaders and this, that, and the third. Like our sisters shouldn't submit to us. But our sisters, do they look like they in slavery? Like, do they look like they, you know, they being treated like the oppressors would treat them? Our sisters are being treated amazing. You see all these strong marriages. You see these sisters and brothers. You see how they loving and treating each other. That submission ain't, you know, submission, not in the ISUPK, maybe in some of them fake Israelite groups, because they don't know how to treat, they don't know how to love and treat sisters. But we know how to love and treat sisters. That's why we got so many of them. All right, I'm gonna play on.
A lot of power. We have power to make heaven and hell for our men. And I'm saying, let's try making heaven. Let's try to build him up. If a man has his woman behind him, he will believe he can do anything. And all we need to do is to get our men to believe that they can do anything. And he'll be able to, do much better than he's doing now and come out of the pitiful condition he's in. As I said, I'm not exonerating him. I'm just saying that all of that strength that we have, let's use it in a more positive way instead of just going for self. Nobody told us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation and loneliness. But that's what we had.
And that's a heavy point right there. Like nobody, in all this girl boss and queen and you're a goddess and this, that, and the third, nobody told y'all that comes with a price. That comes with separation, and that comes with loneliness. That loneliness, like y'all can have as much money as y'all want. Y'all can, have all these degrees, have a pet dog, but you still lonely. A sister was designed to be with a brother. Brothers we designed for each other. We absolutely designed to be with each other, to help one another, to guide one another. We black women and black men, we complete each other. We two sides of the puzzle that complete each other. When you don't have that other half, it's a terrible thing, man. It's lonely. It just is. But you, in the pursuit to be independent and have all these other women who are they're also lonely, in the pursuit to have them praise you for being so strong, so independent, you force yourself to be lonely, to be alone. It's a terrible fate.
To trade for that in order to have certain kinds of success. We had to give up the man because we can't find a man who will compete with us on that level. As I said, we say he can't handle us, or he's intimidated by the fact I make more money than him. I think that by judging our men on how much money he makes, we have lost a lot of good men, because as black women, if we decide that all of us are going to just determine whether or not we're going to have a man based on how much money he makes, then none of us have no man.
But
because most black men don't have no money.
There are many men
not a lot of money.
That was funny. Like, our sisters, we in a mindset is learn from our oppressor to judge a man based on how much money he makes. If he can't, pay, can he, as what's that song by Destiny's Child? Something bills, can pay telephone bills, can pay the automobile, like, good night. A brother gotta pay every damn bill. Like y'all can't pay a bill? Salakia. That's just part of being an adult. People pay bills, they pay rent, pay the mortgage. That's part of being an adult. That's nothing to do with, brother or sister. In fact, all right, let me see. I'm kind of close on the time. I'm gonna get this real quick, because in fact, I'm gonna play the second video and then I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna close out that way. All right, give me 1 second. Pulling the second video up.
The more educated.
This is more modern, but they're saying the same thing. The same thing from the 1990s, the same thing we're saying in 2024. All right, we're going to play this one.
The more educated and financially stable a woman is, the least likely she is dateable to most men.
A lot of the times we attach, our experiences to our accolades. Yeah. And I think in real life, a lot of the issue that some of us have as black women, and I can speak from a place of experience, isn't the fact that we're successful. It's the fact that sometimes our energy and our attitude with that success
I don't know if y'all heard that. Y'all heard that? Y'all let me know if y'all heard that. She said, sometimes it ain't the accolades. It ain't the fact you got a good job and the man just can't handle you earning all this money. It ain't that. A man ain't intimidated by a sister earning money. That ain't the issue. The issue is that you put so much stock in that. You have so much pride. That attitude that comes with that degree, that attitude that comes with that high paying job, making you feel as if you're better than that man because you earning more than him, or you think you smarter than him, or this, that, and the third. A sister can be more intelligent than a brother in some ways, but you still ought to submit to that man. Like, if you have a good idea, bring it to him. Don't treat him as if he's nothing, as if or he can't tell me nothing because I got this education and that education. No, bring that education to your husband and allow him to make a decision to lead you. But that attitude that comes with, that they push that you should have, comes with having all these degrees and this job and this, that, and the third. Your attitude is terrible. And let me read this. Like I say, if I may, in reality, women who say they need a man to pay this, that, this and that are gold diggers. That's true. Like they just looking to use this man for his money. And if God forbid, he loses his job and all of a sudden he can't pay them telephone bills, them automobile bills, like he can't pay that. Now you on to the next man. Now you just, that's just, at that point, that's you just selling yourself for a bill, giving your body away to this man because he can pay your bill. That's just, that's just, I can't say the word, what that is, but I'm sure y'all can put that's a very transactional relationship. I'll say that. I'm sure y'all can put two and two together.
Success be sorry, but it's the truth. A lot of the times it's, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm an independent, I get my own. That's cool, baby, get your own. They love that in real life, but they still want to feel like, oh, daddy, I love you. Daddy, I need you. Daddy, I appreciate you. They still want to feel like that. So I think that sometimes we be so quick to say, they mad because I'm getting money, mad because I got a degree. They not mad at that. They want that. They want a partner.
And brothers is not mad if his sister have a good job. If his sister has a good job, send her my way. I can do something with that money. I can build my nation with that bread. Bring that paycheck in to Raoban. Listen, my camp leader is Captain Karatia. Go ahead and bring that check. You got a good job, good high education, good night. Brothers ain't intimidated by that. But that attitude that y'all don't want to submit to nothing because y'all got this job and this degree. You a PhD. You doctor this. You got your doctorate. Listen, brothers don't want that. Brothers absolutely don't want that. And you will be unalived, alone, old and gray with your degree and no man. Because you could never just agree with a brother. You could never just put your pride aside for 2 seconds and admit when you're wrong. And get on that brother's program. That brother can still lead you. He's still responsible for leading you and protecting you, but you don't want to hear nothing. I'm gonna play on.
They mad at the energy that comes with that sometimes.
And I think a lot of the times we need to know the difference between independence and hyper-independence.
Yes.
Independence, you on your own. Hyper-independence is a trauma response.
Bingo.
And she's like, they talk about, independence and hyper-independence. Independence is really just doing the things that an adult do. You can pay your bills, congratulations. Everybody, that's pretty much what's demanded of every adult. You can pay this bill, you work and, you working, congratulations, you have a job. 90% of people, not 90% because, there's some unemployed people, but it's not a special thing to have a job. It's not a special thing to be able to pay a bill. What's more rare is having somebody that is agreeable. That China Monet said it best. Submissive women are in demand. That is what's missing. That's what's valuable. I don't know if y'all know the economics, but value, there's a link between value and scarcity. Something that's rare and that's scarce is more valuable. There's plenty of women that have good jobs and good education and this, that, and the third, but that ability to submit, that ability to provide comfort and peace to a man, that is rare. That is valuable. I think you'll find that is very valuable to a man. And if you have that, and if you seek that, and you seek to give your man that, he will treat you as very valuable. And I'm gonna get into this last scripture before we close out, because we're getting kind of close to the time. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10, because every sister want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Every sister, every Christian woman they Proverbs 31. They virtuous. They price is far above rubies. Everybody want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. We're gonna read what a Proverbs 31 woman looks like. I would just come and say, can't say, I guess women who don't want a man that got a whole farmhouse of animals. Right. They got a whole farmhouse of animals, It's either they got a dog to keep them company, or they just must have everything they need. Everything they need. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into this scripture. All right, Proverbs 31:10. We get into the actual, even to the chapter. Because a lot of people don't know, especially them Christians, y'all don't know what the word virtuous means. A virtuous woman is a woman that has skills. A woman that has lots of skills. And you read through this chapter, it's going to show you a woman with skills, a woman that goes to work, but she don't go to work and that's her money. She don't go to work and she independent. She goes to work and she takes care of her husband. She takes care of her family. Her family trusts in her. Her family, praises her because she does all this work, does all this. She uses that strength to build her family, not break it down. So we're going to read it. I'm going to go through it real fast. All right, Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? A woman with skills, with values, that's cooperative, submissive, that is rare. That's a rare find. Right? It says the heart of her husband that safely trust in her so that he have no need of spoil. So she ain't going around saying she don't need him. She ain't going around saying she independent. She a girl boss. She this, that, and the third. She got all these skills. She got her PhD. She got her doctorate. She got, whatever level of education. All right, it says she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. This sister has a job. She ain't just sitting around the house doing nothing, looking pretty. This sister has a job. All right, verse 14, she's like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. So she's bringing stuff into the house. She going out there and working. She working flax. She might be making clothes. She doing the type of job that sisters do. A lot of sisters in these days, y'all got like administration type jobs or HR. Y'all big in HR, like nursing, doctors, that sort of thing. Y'all can go out to work, but what are you going to work for? What are you getting this money for? All right, let me read on verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. So she feeding her household. She brings that money back and feeds her household. She feeds her husband. She feeds them children, man. She makes sure her house is straight. She ain't just, your money is my money, but my money is my money. That's not what a virtuous woman looks like. All right. She considereth a field and buyeth it. She might consider some land or a plot or a house, and she buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she planteth a vineyard. She, plants all these things. She might be into farming, all these different ways you can earn money, whether it's clothing, farming, all these different methods. Even investing in property. Some sisters are in property. They property management. You can bring bread in that way. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. Listen, our sisters are the strongest women on the face of this earth. No other nation of women could go through what blacks, Hispanics, Native Indian women have went through. But you got to use that strength to build your nation, to build up your man. You can't use that against a brother. You can't using that, sisters are slick with that tongue. You can use that to make some money. But you using it to tear down a brother, to tear down that brother's strength. Listen, you got to use that strength for the right reason. Use that strength to build your nation. Don't use that strength to be a 304 don't, like sisters is using, they got talent in that music industry, but they're using it to destroy the future generation of women. They're using it to, proliferate women being single and sleeping around and cheating on their man, committing adultery, which is actual adultery. When a sister goes and sleeps, she has a husband, she has a man, and she goes and sleeps with another man, that is adultery, according to the Bible. All right, let me get where we at. I'm gonna skip a few verses. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. So she working. All right, let me see. We get for this one. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. So she also, she has sisterhood. She has, she giving to the poor, she giving to those who need it. She's taking care of her nation. I said she's not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. So she's taking care of her home, making sure, her husband, her children, her household is everything they need. for whatever season, whatever situation, you know, she making sure the house is taken care of. All right. Let's skip on to this one. Verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth amongst the elders of the land. All right. When you have a sister like that, a good helpmeet that, you know, she ain't lazy. She ain't just laying around looking pretty, thinking the man's got to provide everything for her. She going out there and working and bringing it back home to her husband, bringing it back home to her household. That's what a good sister does. That's what a virtuous woman does. Since everyone want to be virtuous, everyone want to drop, you know, Proverbs. You know, every sister want to claim she Christian and drop Proverbs 31 in their bio or some nonsense. But they not this. They absolutely not this. You know. Let me get this last part and I'm gonna go off. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice. I'm in verse 25. And she shall rejoice in the time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. So she ain't using her tongue to tear down her man. She speaks with wisdom. She speaks with kindness. It says she looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. This sister ain't lazy. She ain't just waiting for a man with 6 figures to come and pay her bills, to pay her automobiles. Like, she ain't waiting for that. She ain't eating the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. It says, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. If you want to be a sister that, you know, you want to be that Proverbs 31, you know, you can work. Bring in bread for your household. Don't be, you know, thinking that man got to provide everything for you, which is what they teach in the, you know, that Christian church. They teach you to get a man with money. They teach you to get a high value man. Then you end up with a man like Diddy. You absolutely end up with a man like Diddy who he got bread, but good night. I don't know what else he got. Whatever diseases he got, you gonna get that too. You're gonna get your bills paid, but you might also get your face busted. You know, that just comes with the territory, because you're looking for money and not looking for no sort of value, no integrity in a man, no strength, no wisdom. Y'all ain't looking for righteous men of the Lord. Y'all just looking for, you know, a brother that can pay your bills. All right. And with that, I'm gonna close out with the show there. The water for everybody for tuning in. All right. The water for Yana Kwaf, Nakaf, Alicia, Kayala, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that jumped in, Ra'ash Karab, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. All right, with that, make sure y'all tune in to ISUPK UK. So on the Facebook and YouTube, the scripture breakdown class, which will be taught by Captain Karathia. Make sure y'all tune in for that. And with that, I say shalom. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Barak and Tham to all the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Allah Tham Ba'Hashem Yahushua to all the sisters. All right, shalom.
Let's get it. I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, then you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Poles everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.